Pashini and Luke Pavlou. And for Heidelberg United, their starting 11, Chris Theodoridis in goal, Josh Wilkins, Les Dumbalis, Lewis Hall, Ruben Way, Andrew Katanos, Jack Petrie, Luke Biles, Harry Noon, Tom Cahill and Alex Schiavo. Tonight's referee is Michael Mammis, Luke Camilleri, and I'll grab the name of his other assistant in a moment. Astro Sakalis is the fourth official. Let's look at the benches for both teams. Oakleigh Cannons, Rory Bryan, Wade Decker, Hamish Miller, Marcus Dumanche and Miloš Lujic on the bench. And Heidelberg United, Alex Pavlidis, John Lazaridis, Adrian Zara, Stephen Pace and Sean Ellis. Emilio, this question is often a tough one, especially for those on commentary debut. Who's going to win and why?
Thank you, Teo. Nothing like a tough question nice and early. Look, I just think on recent form, it has to be Heidelberg tonight. I'll even try and predict a score. Let's go with Heidelberg 3, Oakleigh 1 tonight.
Don't forget we are live and interactive tonight as well. Send us a message through Facebook. We've got the stream open and we will read out the best of your comments and do our best to answer your questions as well. There are 3 other games going on around the grounds. And just before we kick this one off, I'll let you know that Hume City are running riot against Dandenong City. They're up 4-0. Melbourne Knights lead Port Melbourne 2-0. And Pascoe Valley against South Melbourne 15 minutes in is currently scoreless. Chris says, go the Burgers. We've got a ton of people watching in from around Victoria, around the country and around the world. Friday night NPL gets underway. And it's Oakleigh in the blue attacking the left of your screens against Heidelberg United in the yellow. And Oakleigh are desperate for their first win of the season, coming in tonight on just 1 competition point. What a start it would be if Epifano can set up an early goal. The shot comes in from Pachkovsky and straight out for a corner. So Oakleigh, a statement of intent right from kickoff.
It's good to see they've started positively, and here come the big centre-backs up for the corner, so let's see how we go with this one, Tao.
Already got news of a goal at CB Smith Reserve, and it's not good news for South Melbourne. They trail 1-0 against Pascoe Vale. So we've got goals in 3 of the 4 games, and this one's only just kicked off. Are we going to get one here as well? The corner floats in, headed out of the 6-yard box. And it was a powerful header from Pachkovsky, and then the flag goes up. It's a corner on the opposing side. And Oakleigh, we haven't even crossed a minute yet. They get to keep the pressure on. Goran Zoric from the short corner, and it will be 3 corners in a row. And Heidelberg immediately are under siege.
They're definitely under pressure at the moment. Let's see if they can convert one of these corners, or at least force a save from the keeper.
Pachkovsky with that left foot of his that is such a weapon. In swinging corner as expected, and this one is headed away emphatically by Wilkins. And the flag is up, so that shot will not count. And it's going to be a Heidelberg ball and a chance just to get their bearings here tonight. Oakleigh have packed all their juniors in. They're all going to be doing a lap of the pitch at halftime, all 200 of them. So that's helped boost the crowd, and they're all behind the goal that Oakleigh are attacking early. And that's going to be a bit of a tension. Tell you what, Chris Theodoridis is actually the sort of goalkeeper who might rise to the occasion and enjoy that. But it's certainly generated quite a good atmosphere already, hasn't it?
Look, I'm not a crowd predictor, Tao, but I would say there have to be over 1,000 people here tonight.
Well, the day we get a perfect to the number crowd predictor, I'll probably bring them on with me in co-commentary every week, Emilio, so maybe that's one to think about. Long ball, flick header on by Cahill. Schiavo rises, and Ramatav Sansioglu is hooking it away, but it's corners at both ends. And so Heidelberg get their chance, and Schiavo, who has started the season in top form, is going to wander over the Queenslander to swing in this corner. George in the comments says Oakleigh win tonight. Michelle says go Burgers. Stan is going to be tuning in. Thank you, Stan, for the kind words. NPL Victoria streaming proving hugely popular. Not like tonight with 4 games, you're spoilt for choice. Here comes the corner. In swinger and emphatically dealt with by Tam Santiago, who gave the corner away. Second time ball. And now hooked away by Pachkovsky, but only as far as Luke Biles. And he steadies. Tam Santiago tries to slice it away. Harry Noon takes possession for the Burgers. Drives it low, and it won't sit up for Ruben Way. Joe Guest is able to intervene for Oakleigh's cause. Hits it long. Harry White trying to bring it down. Chris Taylor bringing in 2 new imports in White and Guest. English connections, along with a swathe of well-known Australians. Shout out to Brandon Galgano, the coach of East Brighton United, who's in the house, proving very popular with his commentary on Monday night as well. I've heard that East Brighton, Emilio, are the PSG of State League 4.
Well, I need to get down there and have a look then. He's definitely a young coach, so good on him.
And by that I mean they've got an all-star team, not that they're funded by petrodollars. I need to make that perfectly clear. Throw in down the left, and Cahill holds the ball up. He loves to brace for contact, and now he shuffles it on down the left side. And the cross meets a line of Oakleigh defenders. Hooked away by Matthew Green. Jack Petrie sends it to the left. Kartanos, always so tricky on the ball, but this time it's well defended by Fashini. And now cleared long and away. Brought down by Harry White. Up against the touchline, and out it goes.
No team's really settled just yet, Tao. It's definitely going end to end, but there doesn't seem to be anyone in control of the game just yet.
Ryan says, watching from England, hoping for some goals. Of course, hugely popular internationally, these streams as well. Facebook, YouTube. And we see a long ball here that's just going to bounce away and out. Let's get a bit of context and look at the table. I did mention the fact that Oakleigh are coming in with just the 1 point tonight. Avondale, who play Gully tomorrow, top on 15. Knights, who currently lead Port Melbourne, are on 15 points. Bentley on 12. Hume 10. Heidelberg 10. And Gully round out the top 6 with 9 points. As we see Theodoridis pressured here. Was chased all the way, and that affected his clearance, which is going to give Oakleigh the chance to hurry. And then Zoric just slows things down and waits for Fashini to come up from right back. Bit of a hand over the shoulder, and the referee is generous. Michael Mammoth lets it run. Now Ruben Way. Setting it out into space for Schiavo to go and chase, and he's led to the ball by Pachkovsky. And John Honos clears. Aerial duel. It looked like a jump in the back from Epifano against Harry Noon, but referee's just letting them play. It's been a quick opening to the game. Shouts for handball here, and now it falls to Epifano on the turn. It's blocked away. Good positioning from the defenders, and now the attempt from Luke Pavlou goes sky high, but Oakleigh firing a couple of shots in anger. Continuing with the ladder, Altona Magic in 7th on 7 points. Pascoe Vale on 7, currently in the lead against South Melbourne. Dandenong Thunder on 6, South Melbourne on 6, Kingston on 5 points. They're in 11th place. 12th in the Pro Roll playoff spot, Port Melbourne on 4, Dandenong City on 3, and Oakleigh Cannons rock bottom at the moment. And on the live table, they would improve to 2 points if they were to get a draw tonight. Goal kick coming up. Angelo says, what's the gyro like, boys? Oh, I had a chicken souvlaki pre-game. And I've always been a wrap for the Oakleigh food. So, Angelo, it has delivered once again on a Friday night. Cleared from the centre of defence by Lewis Hall. Touched on by Cahill. And a foul going the way of Heidelberg as Kartanos is knocked to the ground. Got a very talented bench, Heidelberg. Adrian Zara and Sean Ellis, 2 real creative types, but Kartanos is preferred tonight, along with Ruben Way, who's been getting his match fitness back after only playing the 1 match for the Wellington Phoenix in the off-season.
See Lewis Hall taking himself forward again.
He is the tall target, but Cahill, the much shorter man, is perhaps the better aerial presence due to his brilliant reading of the ball in flight. Can he find it here? It's just over his head. And so Pachkovsky will wheel onto his left and drive it long without much direction. Jack Petrie. And then back to Biles. There was a big hullabaloo over at CB Smith Reserve with Pascoe Vale and South Melbourne getting into a bit of a tussle, I think due to a heavy foul on a Pascoe Vale player, but that's all dissipated. Dandy City are having a real mare at the moment over in Broadmeadows. They are 4-0 down to Hume City at half-time. That is red alert for them. I saw them competitive but not close to Melbourne Knights in a 2-0 loss last week, so it's disappointing that a week on they've conceded 4 goals in the first half, but Hume are flying. Header from Matthews, and then a trip, and Harry Noon lashes that shot into the crowd, but wouldn't have counted for much. Dimi Hatsamaratis, a former Oakleigh player, actually the goal scorer for Pascoe Vale against South. And it's Ben Bowler, James Brown, Steve Hewitt and Brad Blumenthal who have scored the 4 goals for Hume City. For Knights, Jean Albano and Tomislav Uskok. And so the late start is the only game without a goal. Wilkins hooks it away. Epifano through ball, promising 2. Joe Guest has drawn the keeper out, and it will sit up for a tap-in. Harry White puts Oakleigh in the lead. And in front of the celebrating Oakleigh Cannons juniors, the home team, in desperate need of a win, have struck first.
Epifano did well there to keep his feet around the keeper. Looked like he was having a shot, but fell fortuitously for a tap-in goal to Oakleigh. Looks like the intent of both teams is pretty willing tonight, and Oakleigh's just settled the better.
We've got a first club goal as well, first in Australia for Harry White. Won't get much easier than that. Absolutely sat up for him pretty much on the goal line and just needed a gentle stroke into the back of the net. And indeed, it opens the scoring and throws down the gauntlet to Heidelberg. And now at the other end, an immediate corner for Heidelberg. So we wait for the corner here from Heidelberg, trying for the immediate response. See a busy penalty area. Chiavo delivers, and it's dealt with by Matthews. Harry Noon on the volley, takes a deflection flag up, and the snapshot on the turn would not have counted had Lewis Hall found the back of the net. Great to see, Emilio, even some Chisholm United juniors, Oakleigh's sister community club, making their way in full kit as well, so they must have come from training.
Good to see the amount of kids that have come out tonight. It's a balmy sort of night. I know the weather was meant to be inclement, but it looks like it's settled quite well.
Well, it rained very heavily for about 5 minutes during a concentrated spell in the under-20s, and that was about it. It's been dry both before and after. Long ball, Cahill, flick header, and Oakleigh have done their preparation and homework on Heidelberg. Cahill does all the heavy lifting. Back to goal forward, classic target man. And the long ball here, hoping for the goal scorer in White, but will not find him.
Tough for the midfielders early on. The ball seems to just be going over the top from both teams, and I think Heidelberg needs to take control of this game and see if they can get a couple of combinations going.
Given the circumstances, you can perhaps forgive Oakleigh for a bit of pragmatism. It's very quickly become about results rather than style for them, given they are the only winless team left in the division after Kingston's victory against South Melbourne on Monday night. Got to throw in for Wilkins here. Spoke to George Katsakis pre-game. He seemed pretty optimistic. Of course, his team is coming back to full fitness and said that they don't want to lose touch with the top teams. And when you've got Avondale, a perfect 5 wins from 5, Knights currently on track to go 5 wins from 6. The top of the table, as we see a foul committed here by Zoric, the top of the table is already starting to stretch away from the rest of the league. I actually don't mind it. I think it's a good thing that you have outstanding teams who are going on long winning runs. Avondale would be a warm favourite to make it 6 wins from 6 against Green Gully tomorrow. Away from home. Ball coming all the way back into the defensive half. It's driven long by Tafsansioglu. Pavlu, little chop step on the ball, turned into a good pass. And now delivered to the left. Pachkovsky from the byline. It sits up for Epifano. A delicate dink that avoids White. Zoric herring after it, but can't get to the ball before Katanos. And then Biles and Dumbalis combine. And that's an errant pass, and George Katsakis prowling the technical area for Heidelberg. Not overly thrilled about it. And now a battle for possession. It's going to stop dead for Green. And Zoric draws a foul in front of a more vocal pocket of Heidelberg fans that don't appreciate how easily he went to ground there.
Definitely see how important this game is tonight for both teams.
So set piece, mid-range. Can they find an aerial target, Oakleigh?
This looks like a card. Yes, it is.
And the free kick is going to have to be retaken. Michael Mammis was booking the bench there, was he?
I don't know who he pointed that one to.
I suspect someone on the Heidelberg bench has been given a card. And it will take some resetting then, the ball. We've already seen plan A. Are they going to mix it up? No, it's another drifting ball into the hot spot, and Theodoridis makes that his own. Rolling it out to Wilkins. Driven diagonal ball. So we think it's a card for the bench, yeah. George Katsakis being able to book managers. It started in the A-League, it's come down to the NPL. Heidelberg to have some long throw specialists, of which Ruben Way is one. And he loads up here. With a long toss into the box. One bounce, and then Tafsansioglu away. A volley from Katanos. Good technique. He gets another chance, but it's a fresh air swing. And now Dumbalis with the left foot. And that one is saved by Honos. More or less straight at him, but still had to grip onto the ball, given there were a few players hunting to follow it in. And Oakleigh in the flash are into the attacking half. Pachkovsky drives it low and cleared away by Petrie. Chiavo bending long ball, but Fashini is back to stop Cahill. Luke Pavlu. Space to turn into here for Pavlu. This is danger for Heidelberg. Deflected pass. It's going to sit up for another attempt from Guest. Epifano bending it into the box, and White ran behind Biles. Pachkovsky follows up, and that one is over the head of all, and held on to by Theodoridis. Peter says Oakleigh looked the better side. Stan says that the goal was way too easy. Keep your comments coming. Like, comment and share. Let people know you're watching NPL Victoria on your Friday nights.
I think some of the experienced players of Heidelberg need to take control, hold on to the ball for a little bit, not panic, see if they can get themselves back in this game.
Now, there has been a red card, and I believe it is Billy Constantinides who has been sent off. So down to 10 men, South Melbourne, and a goal down to the Oakleigh Cannons. That is turning into a bad night. That it's only the one goal, but gee, that is a massive blow It'll come with a suspension as well. As the ball goes out here. Cahill holding off Pavlu. Harry Noon. Wilkins made a break, and Pachkovsky got to the ball first time but has to bounce back to his feet. Wilkins, and the cross is skimming off the head of Tavsensioglu. Katanos. This is where he pulls out the step over more often than not. He hits the byline instead, and that one is too close to the keeper. It's all about the decision in that position. Long ball here, bouncing down to Theodoridis. And confirming that, yes, it was Billy Constantinidis, South Melbourne's big name import, the returning Australian after a 14-year pro career in Greece, red-carded against Pascoe Vale. And I know that now that every game is filmed, it certainly makes the life a lot easier for the discipline team and the tribunal to assess every incident. It's no more case of whispers. You got the footage that does the talking for itself.
It's no more he said, it's she said. It's the videos, unfortunately or fortunately, show what actually occurred.
Ruben Way couldn't rise, and it's held on to by Theodoridis. Shout out to our international audience, Adam Varallo, watching from the AIS in Italy. Our taxes at work on Adam's Friday afternoon. Great to have your company. And of course, the encyclopedia, Demir Kulash, who you can hear tomorrow night alongside Bryce Rutherford from Kingston versus Altona Magic. Wilkins. High ball. Green. And a high boot on the chest of Ruben Way. A few shouts for a card, but maybe a little ambitious. Triffin says it was an off-the-ball incident at the South game. The keeper got a yellow for retaliation, but should have got a red too. Hard to see what Constantinidis actually did as it was off camera. Thank you, Triffin. He's obviously got multiple YouTube pages open as there's a foul on the keeper here. Amelia, the game has definitely slowed down in tempo. What do you make of the first quarter or so of the action, 22 minutes in?
Well, look, it started really quick. There was 3 corners to Oakleigh and 1 to Heidelberg, and the game was moving from end to end. And then it's sort of the importance of the game probably meant that both teams were panicking when they were on the ball. And I think both teams have the quality to be able to just slow the tempo down, but control the game and control possession. What we're looking for from Heidelberg here, I think, is to try and unlock a very, very organised Oakleigh defence.
Given some of the spurts of goals Oakleigh have conceded this year, I'm sure they'd be thrilled that to this point of the night they have looked organised. Tavsensioglu, of course, a big part of that, one of the new arrivals in the off-season. Long ball here. Header by Dumbalis to Ruben Way. And Ruben, square ball out to Dumbalis. News of a goal for Port Melbourne. They've pegged 1 back. They were 2-0 down against Knights. Now it's 2-1. They had a disallowed goal when the score was only 1-0. It's in the 54th minute over at Knights Stadium. High clearance here. Francois says, hello from the NPL fans in Bucharest, Romania. Francois, hello.
Here's a chance.
Cahill tried to shoot immediately, blocked once by Green, and then coming into Picky's pocket was Fashini, sneaking through from the blind side just as Cahill thought a second shot was on. Zorich with a high chip. And I mentioned that Port had got it back to 2-1. Well, Knights have scored against them almost immediately, and it is 3-1. Little sidestep from Zorich and then gives the ball away. 50-50 there to be won. Guest committed himself and got possession back. White knocked off the ball. Lewis Hall did well. Wilkins out into the path of Ruben Way. In a duel with Epifano. A couple of the more excitable characters of the NPL there. Way versus Epifano.
Oakleigh been handling these set pieces quite well. It'll be interesting to see what happens here.
Wilkins this time to swing one in. It was always curling away from the box. It'll sit up. Cahill didn't want to pull the trigger. Ruben Way backed out, and then Cahill, a low scuff. Matthews blocked it, and then Oakleigh just kicked for territory to relieve the pressure. And it's bombs away from White to find the touchline. Biles. Harry Noon against Pachkovsky. Pavlu. Oakleigh players thought the referee would blow the whistle, but instead it continues, and Pavlu wants a little bit of revenge against Noon, and now he's just chasing the ball, herring after it. Back in they go. Good clean duel, that one between the two. Pachkovsky drives a long ball, but that one is unplayable as far as Harry White is concerned. It's the classic sort of physicality and battle within the overall game that is typical of Heidelberg versus Oakleigh. You can't take a backward step against Heidelberg. They're a team that prides themselves on being difficult to play against. And if you do show any weakness in a 50-50, they will try to capitalise on that. Case in point, Epifano here looked to handle the ball, as you said, Emilio, but not given. Cahill and Chiavo trying to skip over the ball. Instead, it ran away from him, out for a throw.
I think Chris Taylor would be pretty happy with the way Oakleigh started this game. They're obviously well organised in defence. 1-0 up, so he'd be pretty happy, I think, with the way things are going at the minute.
The early goal for White is the difference between the teams. Biles. And the ball here from Green is going to run down to Theodoridis, reorganising his defence. Jean Albano has a double for Melbourne Knights and puts them 3-1 up. Harry Noon. Chiavo in between two Oakleigh defenders, leading Tafsansioglu away from the penalty area, but he can't keep the ball with him. Just a throw. Way. Katanos. Solid header. Tafsansioglu. Petrie follows in. It's a good challenge there from Epifano. Joe Guest. Back to Epifano. And in an acre of space, Zorich can turn and play it for Fashini. Cutting it back. Great chance and tipped over the bar. Guest denied by a good save from Theodoridis.
Great save for the keeper. Good build-up play by Oakleigh. nice shot on target, and the keeper had to save that, had to tip it over the bar.
How about the space in the pocket there for Zoric coming in from the right, though? He had an eternity to take possession, turn and pick his pass, and that really allowed all the Oakleigh attackers to move into the attacking third and join him.
I think if you break with speed, Teo, the space is created, and that's what happened just there in that passage of play.
So a corner kick as Oakleigh tried to make it 2-0. In swinger, Theodoridis is up, and he's got his teammates at the fall. Epifano. And a foul.
Not sure that was a foul there. So we've got to encourage players to attack the ball, and I think that's all he did there. He competed, he won it. You've got to let those ones go.
Cahill, an uncontested header. Schiavo, will it sit for him? And then it's nodded on into the arms of Honos. Ruben Way was hoping he would be the final link in the chain, but not to be. Hall. Down to Wilkins. Both teams have been perfectly happy to just drive a long ball back to the opposition's keeper at times tonight. There's no real desire to hold on to possession. Pavlu. Guest already forced one good save from Theodoridis, but he's stripped of possession here by Noon, who is repelling for Heidelberg. Katanos engages Fashini, but then loses out to Zoric. There are a few groans from the Heidelberg fans in the crowd. You can sense a promising attack come to an end.
They are finding it difficult to unlock this well-organised, well-structured Oakleigh defence tonight, that's for sure, Taylor.
Katanos was begging to get a card here because he committed a blatant foul grabbing the shirt, and then he booted the ball away in an act of rebellion there. Michael Mammis, and now he's being sworn at. Well, it mustn't have been swearing, it must have just been hard encouragement. I reckon he's committed a yellow card offence 3 times there, but referee shows lenience on all of them, and thus we are yet to have anyone booked in the game.
No, I'm happy for those to be let go. Keep your yellow codes in your pocket unless it's absolutely necessary.
Cahill, not for the first time tonight, wins yet another header on a long ball, but can't steer it towards a player in a yellow shirt. Honos already winding seconds off the clock. It's only early doors really in this one. We've played 32 minutes. It's even a bit early to be playing for half time. Over the head of White, Pavlu running on, and he's tunnelled through underneath Wilkins there. Cleared away by Biles. Hall. Noon. Great step away from 2 Oakleigh players, but then his crossfield pass is intercepted in style by Fashini. Drives it wide to Guest. Return ball not quite on the money. Goes out for a goal kick instead.
That was a good break by Fashini. Looking for the return 1-2. Just overplayed it, unfortunately. Fashini would have been in a good position to get at least a shot on the target there.
Let's go around the grounds. 3 other games in NPL Victoria tonight. 60th minute, Hume City 4, Dandenong City 0. 64th minute, Melbourne Knights 3, Port Melbourne 1. And right on the stroke of half-time, Pascoe 1, South Melbourne down to 10 men, 0. Lots of discussion in the comments about Miloš Lujic and why he is on the bench. Of course, he didn't want to come off in a game earlier in the season, and thus maybe a message being sent about his lack of goal scoring so far. There's been a guarantee of goals, Lujic, everywhere he's gone during his career, but hasn't started firing for Oakleigh yet. Got to say, I'm actually quite glad this game had an early goal, because it hasn't exactly reached any great heights since.
Not quite yet. But
it set our expectations very high the first 5 to 6 minutes, and then it has steadily started to just become trench warfare since. Petrie, a specialist in that sort of slog, to Pavlu, Schiavo, Ruben Way. This is a bit slicker from Heidelberg. Luke Biles. And then he slows things down, back out to Dumbalis. Over the head of Pachkovsky, but Ruben Way wasn't chasing after it at ground level. Pachkovsky, a long ball, straight to a Heidelberg head. Pavlu, though, potential gaps opening up there. Joe Guest had just got a bit of space and couldn't quite find his attacker in white. Flick headed by Schiavo. Tavsancioglu. Caught in between two players. Schiavo lost his legs. And the free kick as a result. Pavlu argues maybe he went to ground a little easy. But it is a set piece just beyond shooting range. Dangerous enough for Harry Noonan and Heidelberg. Over comes Jack Petrie.
Oakleigh have dealt with these pretty well, Tao, as previously said, but wouldn't mind seeing Heidelberg try something a little bit different here. Maybe go to the front post as opposed to the back. Let's see what they do.
Monos has certainly positioned himself for a back post cross, and that's where the ball does go. Tavsancioglu, first header, out for a throw. And he called it really. He knew what the plan was, and so did Oakleigh. And just a reminder that more than 200 Oakleigh juniors will be doing a lap of the pitch at half-time. With some Chisholm United juniors as well. They'll be happy about the home team. Here's an attempt in the area from Noon. He lost his feet. Referee was unmoved. Heidelberg appealing for a penalty. Oh, they had a decent shout there. Lewis Hall headed away. Emilio, your verdict on the penalty shout?
I think it was a little clumsy, but probably not enough to call a pen for that.
So Oakleigh have a throw from right back. Schiavo against Pavlu, won the duel. Way, Cahill couldn't keep it. Kartanos barging through his Pavlu, and the referee says another foul. Luke Pavlu now maybe just needs to cool off. He's committed a couple of fouls in quick succession. We've still yet to see a card in this match. Now through 37 minutes. And this one is right on the limit of shooting range, albeit on an acute angle. Ruby from the Heidelberg under-16s says it was a penalty. I think that may not be the most impartial observation, though. Passionate Burgers fans watching in. Free kick then. Schiavo's free kick, and it's headed away by Green. Epifano.
Advantage.
And after the high boot,
3v2.
Oakleigh will break here. Joe Guest, edge of the box. Biles went to ground, and it's off the woodwork. And it's a miracle escape for Heidelberg as Wilkins is saved from scoring an own goal. Woodwork, goal-bound touches, and the goalkeeper put his hands on it. Now end-to-end, Cahill goes over. The ball spills to Noon, and it's blocked away by Pachkovsky. Oh! Ruben Way!
Strike from long range.
Heidelberg get their equaliser, and it's Ruben who who brings us level 1-1. Spectacular end-to-end football.
Great strike. Looked like it took a deflection. Keeper caught off guard. End-to-end football. Post on one side, goal on the other toe. That's what we want to see tonight.
That was all action from Heidelberg. Somehow escaped going 2-0 down at the other end. And so Way came up with the thunderbolt there out of the chaos. Emilio, firstly, I'll get your thoughts on the mad scramble that was somehow Oakleigh not scoring and Heidelberg avoiding a guest goal and then potentially an own goal as well.
Great transition by Oakleigh to get the advantage of the 3v2 on one side, but then Heidelberg came back immediately and then shot on goal. Looks like it took a deflection. 1-1.
What about the presence of mind of Cahill to flick the ball on after he went to ground as well? He just kept it moving at all costs.
Calls for a penalty in amongst that. It was all happening, Tao. It was all happening for that little period of play.
The Burger fans
got the crowd up, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're happier now. Ticking down towards the last 5 minutes of the first half. 1-1 the score. And just as we were starting to bemoan that the game had hit a bit of a lull, it sprung to life with the sort of chaos and end-to-end thrusts that are typical of games between these teams. It'll certainly change the tone of Chris Taylor's halftime team talk. News of another Port Melbourne goal. So they've picked it back to 3-2 in the 71st minute. And a game that I did not have high hopes for, Emilio, has delivered 5 goals. So I reckon Josip Herzog and Katie Lambeski over at Knight Stadium would be happy.
Here we go again.
As Katanos plays it to Chiavo. Wilkins couldn't get there in time. Pachkovsky beat him to the ball. And now at the other end,
stepped up a notch, Tao.
White has held off.
When teams transition quickly, you see defences become disorganised, and Oakleigh really haven't been in that space until that goal was scored. So,
free kick for Heidelberg now. So, goal coming in the 71st minute for Port Melbourne. Puts them right back in with a chance of getting something off Knights. A team that, of course, made the finals last year, Port, but were knocked out in the 3v6 clash by Avondale. And I think a club like Port, as much as they're aiming for finals, your first priority, I think, is always to just guarantee that you're not part of the relegation conversation, especially when the ladder is so compressed early in the season.
Come on, United!
The octogenarian's corner of the crowd is trying to get an Alexandros chant going, and may well they, because Ruben Way is trying to free his feet again, but this one is blocked. Pavlu, and here's a chance for White. You can see him motoring to the ball, cutting in, then back onto his left. Oh, what a save! But it's goal! Oakleigh retake the lead. Sensational from White in the build-up, and then the finish. Nodded into the back of the net. Joe Guest makes it 2-1.
So again, Tao, you see Heidelberg go up, weave through, shot on goal, blocked, comes out the other way. Nice little dink over the keeper. Keeper saves it, and then header back of the net.
How about the footwork in the build-up too from Harry White? He just absolutely had the defender dancing. And his close control was able to lead him a merry jig as he then put the shot into the keeper. You feel for Lewis Hall, who was left absolutely flattened. He won't enjoy watching the highlights tomorrow.
I don't think he will.
So it's 2-1. And it is the two imports, Harry White and Joe Guest, who are the goal scorers.
Again, caught on transition. Moved the ball quickly. Beautiful, creative one-on-one play. Keeper got a touch on it, but header finish.
Is there another twist before the break? Katanos, Ruben Way! Denied this time. And credit Epifano for marking him tightly. And it is a goal kick.
It's definitely lifted a couple of gears, Tao, and we've seen 2 goals fairly quickly now, and the game's really opened up.
Half-time at CV Smith Reserve. Timmy Hatzimaradis' goal means that it is Port Melbourne 1, South Melbourne down to 10 men, 0. Peter in the comments says, what a game. Ryan says the defender was auditioning for Dancing with the Stars there. Wow. Comments bringing the sass tonight. As only they can. Guest. Cut back. Oh, it sits up, and then Theodoridis recovers before Pavlou can arrive.
He got down nicely and got up quickly, picked that ball up. This has definitely opened up, Tao.
Well, we've got lots of players watching too. Box Hill's Mayor Markovsky says, what a game this is. Enjoying a bit of NPL football, as we all are here at the ground tonight. A crowd that might be pushing 1,000, I reckon. There's 200 Oakleigh juniors here to boost the numbers. Yet another mid-range free kick for Heidelberg. They've had so many of these. Oakleigh's fouling has all been done far enough away from goal to prevent a direct shot, and instead it is another hopeful ball into the box. I mean, you don't go out with a game plan to commit fouls, do you, Emilio? But these free kicks that Heidelberg have had, they've had about half a dozen now, all of them some distance from the area, and they haven't been able to do much with any of them.
No, unfortunately, you're right, Toe. They've been a little bit predictable with their set pieces tonight. I think that's something that George might be able to address at half-time and maybe just look for a bit of variation. Get the defenders moving, get them out of position.
Cahill, legs, and it is yet another mid-range free kick beyond shooting distance.
Let's see if they can try something here.
Well, Way feigned taking it quickly, but then thinks better of it. We're into stoppage time at the end of this first half. I didn't see the fourthie put up the board. Astro Sakalis, one of the best fourthies in the business. In comes the set piece. This one falls. Hall trying to make amends. And now Katanos, always dangerous from that wide area on the tight angle. But it's blocked out. Emilio getting snubbed by the juniors. He didn't wave back to him.
I just like seeing them at the venue in their kits, ready to get on at half-time. How exciting for the young group that's here. The railway side looks packed over there, Taro.
Oh, it's going to be a thrill for all these youngsters, and they've come to a good game. Petrie. Katanos. The shot's on here for Katanos. Blocked away. Tafsansioglu. Geez, positioning has been so good tonight to continue just blocking and short-circuiting all these Heidelberg attacks. Wilkins. Tumbling cross. Not quite dealt with by Green. Pachkovsky. Wilkins. Now nodded away by Dumbalis to Noon. And then the ball goes out for a throw. Cahill. Schiavo against Fascini. Brought down by Biles. Time the enemy of Heidelberg if they want to draw level before the break. Honos goes up and claims. We've had 2 minutes of additional time. And the halftime whistle will give everyone the chance to take a breath. A first half that started electric, fell into a lull, and then has finished in a flurry and has certainly whet the appetite for more after the break. And we continue to go. John says he's loving the commentary from you.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
2.5 minutes of stoppage now ticked by. Don't forget, during the halftime break, you can check in for the last 15 minutes or so of Knights 3, Port Melbourne 2, or Hume City 4, Dandenong City 0, if you are so inclined. Port Melbourne versus South will be back from halftime very soon as well, where Port Melbourne lead 10-man South 1-0. It's actually been news of a Dandenong City goal. They've converted a penalty to make it 4-1. And it's a former Oakleigh man, Dean Piemonte, who has scored. And that is half-time. It's delivered so far. Oakleigh took the lead through Harry White. Equaliser from Ruben Way, but it is Joe Guest's goal that at half-time means it is Oakleigh Cannons 2, Heidelberg United 1. Emilio Manatidis wrap up the first half.
Well, look, both teams started fairly eager to try and build up play and get into the last third of the opposition and create some chances. What we did see was Oakleigh, through Epifanu's individual brilliance, create the first goal. The game then went into a bit of a hiatus. There was long balls being played by both teams, and it didn't look like any player was prepared to take the responsibility and slow the game down, slow the tempo, control the game. Then we saw some incredible attacking play from both teams in transition, which means defences were totally disorganised. Heidelberg get the equaliser, and then Oakleigh go to the other end, again based on a transition, deep transition, long ball forward, brilliant one-on-one, tries to dink the keeper, gets a deflection, and Oakleigh go 2-1 up. So for me, as soon as each side's defence is put under pressure through quick transition, it's created opportunities to score goals at either end, and that's why we see a 2-1 scoreline at the minute.
Well, you've got the countdown clock on your screen. Second half, not too far away. Stay with us on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel and Facebook page. We'll be back soon. Welcome back to live pictures from Jack Edwards Reserve. It's been a game with ebbs and flows, but so far this derby is delivering. It is Heidelberg United trailing Oakleigh Cannons. Oakleigh trying to win for the first time in 2019, and they currently lead 2-1 thanks to goals from their English imports, Harry White and Joe Guest. Heidelberg's goal coming via Ruben Way. Teo Pellizzeri is my name, Emilio Amanatidis in commentary with me, and I must inform you that in the build-up to Ruben Way's goal, Les Dumbalis got a yellow card for a high boot. And Emilio, you might remember the advantage given by the referee as Oakleigh went down and nearly scored a second, and then Heidelberg came back to score at the other end. So good reffing from Michael Mammis to just put in the memory bank that he still had a yellow card to give out after the goal celebration.
It was a tough job, the referees, but tonight they are doing a great job and should be commended on the calls they're making and even the calls they're not making, because this game has flowed quite evenly.
So we're ready to go at the start of the second half. The stadium DJ is going to turn down his microphone and we're going to turn ours up and listen in to the action here as Oakleigh trying to go on with the job and Heidelberg attempt to turn this game around.
Great initiative by Oakleigh, having all the young kids on the park at half-time. They looked like they were having a lot of fun, and credit to the Oakleigh administration for allowing them to do that.
It's all about trying to bring as many fans back to the games as possible. It's the web streaming objective as well. Connect fans to the league, and we're back underway in the second half. The score here is 2-1 in favour of Oakleigh around the grounds. In the 4th minute of stoppage, Knights 3 lead Port Melbourne 2, and in the 90th minute, Hume City 4 lead Dandenong City 1. And we're keeping an eye on CB Smith Reserve, where after an hour, Pascoe Vale lead 10-man South Melbourne 1-0. So we've got the late one, and that means we'll have all the viewers coming back to join us after the other games finish. And one such viewer is the coach of Altona Magic, Goran Lozanovsky. Of course, his team plays away at Kingston City tomorrow night. You'll have Bryce Rutherford and Demir Kulash on the call. Bryce Rutherford, another of the rising stars. His brother is a star on the field, and Bryce is becoming a star off it. Though maybe he'd also like me to throw in that he's the playing coach of Churchill United in the Latrobe Valley Soccer League, Emilio, so maybe he's a star in the making down in Gippy as well. Andrea says the Burgers were not focused from the start today. Oakleigh did hit them quick in the first 5 minutes and then got a goal to show for it in about the 11th or the 12th.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to see Heidelberg do in this second half is just take control of the game. They need to do that by making sure that they don't just play one avenue of football, whether it's set pieces or free play. If they can get some control through the middle, get Moon onto the ball, see if they can get in behind the Oakleigh defence, I think there might be some more goals here tonight, Taylor.
From the left, over the head this time of Guest. His header is the difference between the teams. Hume City have scored a 5th in stoppage time, so they're 5-1 up now against Dandenong City. Big boost to the goal difference, and that's a real blow for Dandy City. And all the momentum of their win 2 weeks ago against Green Gully is well and truly dissipated now with a 2-0 home loss to Melbourne Knights and now 4-1 defeat. And would you believe they have the Dandy Derby next, and Frank Holohan as Zorich swings it across and Wilkins heads it away. Patchkovsky, where's the hammer? He's going to dink it instead, and that gentle touch is going to tail away into possession for Dumbalis. Dandy Derby, a huge game at Frank Holohan at 8:30 next Friday. And Andrew Katanos has gone and taken a seat. And for the first time tonight, we're going to get the trainer called, you suspect, because Katanos, even though we are only moments into the second half, clearly knows that something is awry. And therefore, he will need some assistance.
Looks like he's feeling for his hamstring, so this might be an early change for Heidelberg. Hopefully there's nothing sinister here, but he is feeling for his hamstring. It looks like a high hamstring, Taylor.
Not good for Kartanos. Paul Wilson was the goal scorer at Hume, and full time after 6.5 minutes of stoppage, Melbourne Knights have won 5 games out of 6 to start the season. One of their best starts to a campaign in some time. They defeat Port Melbourne 3-2, and it means that they draw level with points with Avondale, ahead of Avondale's trip to Gully tomorrow. And as Katanos walks to the bench, Is he going to be able to continue? Looks as though Heidelberg are walking Sean Ellis up to the sideline, and we're going to get our first sub as you anticipated, Amelia. On comes, I believe it is Ellis. Yes, it is. Board goes up, and the number 19 replaces the number 8. So first sub of the night, Sean Ellis on, Andrew Kartanos off.
Very difficult with hamstrings, Tao. If you do a twinge or if he's pulled anything there, there's no point risking that anymore tonight. So I think the change was eminent.
So we got 3 live games still going, waiting for full time. In fact, full time at ABD Stadium. 5-1. Port Melbourne. Hume City defeats Dandy City, I should say. High cross here. Panchkovsky at the far post. Wilkins barging in, but simply steers it out for a throw.
Is that 12 players on the pitch? No.
Yeah, Kartanos didn't know he'd been subbed off. How about that? He thought he'd made a miracle recovery. Didn't realise the bench had given him the heave-ho. And I'm a little bit surprised. Can you be booked after you've already been subbed off, Amelia? That should be, in theory, it should be a booking.
I'm not going to make that call because I don't know the rule, but I think you might be right. He's just run onto the field and he's just been subbed. I haven't seen that before, I must admit. Heidelberg could do with the extra player, though.
That is a bizarre one. Anyway, they have a corner and they have 11 on the pitch, as is legal. Here it comes. Ellis, the new man, straight onto the head of Matthews. Sits up for Biles, and his thoughts were of the corner taker. Great touch out of the sky from Ellis. And he swings onto that left peg. Deflected cross, sitting up, and now the volley through traffic. Jack Petrie picks out the goalkeeper, and that is sure hands from Honos.
That's better from Heidelberg. Good positive intent. Nice shot on goal.
Got a bit of multi-ball going on here. Matt Fascini. And the ball has gone out. James reckons you're sounding good. I reckon young man James Campese got a lot of time for red-headed Italians, so on you, James. Thanks for tuning in.
And thanks for the call out, James. Hope you're having a good night tuning in to live stream Oakleigh versus Heidelberg.
Been a couple of red cards already, so we've got some work for him on Monday. Stan says, watching South for the last 20 minutes, and you'd think Pascoval had 10 men all over them. Hatzimuratis off with a hamstring injury. Well, we've got the South Melbourne versus Pascoval game on here on our laptop at the ground, so we're watching it out of the corner of our eye as Oakleigh win another corner. And over at Melbourne Knights, Josip Herzog, job done after commentating the 3-2 win for Knights against Pascoval, has joined us on the stream. Plenty of time being taken over this set piece. Theodorides sets himself and is able to rake the ball in out of the sky. Interesting that Melbourne Knights have won 5 out of 6 and their only defeat was away to Heidelberg at Olympic Village. Of course, they beat Oakleigh here at Jack Edwards to start the season back in round 1. Green had Chiavo snapping at his heels. Pachkovsky long and out, and Chris Taylor, the Oakleigh Cannons coach, on the bench. So the game has hit a bit of a natural lull here at the start of the second half. Heidelberg came out with a bit of a flurry, but Oakleigh are trying to just steady things after 53 minutes. Long header. It's a cause for White to go and chase. Putting the heat on Hall. And then got back to his feet the quicker. Great play from Harry White. And then he leaves it behind with Petrie. He'd done so much and then just got caught at the last. Pavlu, combative work against Ellis. Central to Guest. Noon. And a long back pass here, dangerous. It was always bending away from Theodoridis, who had to just take a quick step to get there before Zorich. Matthews out in front of Fashini. And Fashini. Green. White. Back to Fashini. Guest. Oh, great touch. Not quite able to find Zorich. Right idea. Nearly pulled it off. Down in the corner, Dumbalis. And Cahill over his head.
Good passage of play by Oakleigh then. Got a couple of passes together and almost got him behind.
Noon. And the back pass from Fashini. Firmly struck. Monos with plenty of time to boot it away. Hold up play from White. Wanted a foul. Referee did not oblige. Biles.
Given away cheaply.
Ellis from distance. Went for the spectacular. Just wanted to remind everyone what he's got in his locker, but he couldn't hit the target from way downtown. So let's take a look ahead to tomorrow, 3 p.m, Green Gully versus Avondale. Jordan Canellis and Marcus Copsey, your call team. Emilio, who do you like? Green Gully, up and down form versus Avondale, who are a perfect 5 wins from 5.
I think Avondale just way too strong at the minute, on a good run, playing good football. I think Avondale for me.
7 p.m, Dandenong Thunder against Bentley Greens out at George Andrews Reserve. Dean Menier joined by one of the breakout stars of the season, Matt Sultana, the B licensed coach, who's doing some wonderful work on commentary. As we see Guest storming through. Oh, what a save!
Great save.
Theodoridis stops him at point blank, and that really should have been 3-1 Oakleigh.
Great save with his feet there, the keeper.
And much like
perfect position,
a close shave in the first half for Oakleigh, now the ball rockets back down the other end, and Heidelberg, it's their turn to go on the attack. Oh, a near miss. Guest should have scored. Simple as that. What a save from Theodoridis.
Yeah, 1-on-1 with the keeper. Should be putting those away as a striker, but great save by the keeper. Stayed on his feet when the shot came in. Put his foot out, stopped the ball, picked it up and saved a certain goal.
Ellis free kick. Noon heads it the wrong way, up and under. And Matthews gets his step right to dig the ball out. Biles, uncompromising. And then his cross. Can Wilkins make it work? He got there. So Tafsansioglu has to take preventative measures. And that's clever from Epifano, just to buy the defence a bit more time to get back in shape. And even cleverer, he's won a throw for his team. We'll continue looking ahead to the rest of the weekend. Thunder versus Bentley. Dean Menier and Matt Sultana, your call team, from 7 p.m. Who do you like in that match? Bentley Greens, a short road trip down to Dandy Thunder, who always, of course, provide an interesting home atmosphere, but it makes them far from impregnable at home because they have lost a few home games in the last couple of years.
I've got to say, I like Bentley there. They've been one of the better teams over the last couple of years, and they're still showing similar form this year as well. And John's done a great job out at Bentley.
To finish the round, Kingston City against Altona Magic, 7:30 at the Grange. Kingston played Monday night, now they turn around for a Saturday night. And Altona have started to pick up the wins. They're making their move. They're in the top 6 now, so they're really starting to get a bit of reward on the table.
Kingston are looking at securing some points, so I'm going to go with Kingston City there.
Oh, okay. I think Altona might get the away win. We'll wait and see. That will be Bryce Rutherford and Demir Kulash, your call team. Here's Ruben Way. Sweeping cross, bouncing through the area. Epifano out the back. Drives it into the crowd. NPL 2 streaming games this week. Box Hill United against Moreland City. 3 p.m. tomorrow with Matt Thompson and Clem Tito. And then on Sunday, the surprise, at least for me, leaders of NPL 2 East, Eastern Lions, We're going to Gardners Creek Reserve for a web stream for the first time as we see an ambitious cross here sail out. And it's Eastern Lions versus Brunswick City. Joey Lynch and Joel Frucci, your commentary team for that one, as part of our 2 NPL 2 streaming games per week.
Not sure Eastern Lions would be surprised that they're on top of the table.
No, I'm openly surprised about that. I did not think. I thought they would be doing well to finish in the 6th that avoid being restructured into the 3rd tier, Emilio, and yet they are top of the league by 3 points at the moment.
They're definitely off to a good start, the Lions.
I think when you
Normie would be pretty happy out there.
If you told me a team called Lions would be top, I might have suspected the Bulleen Lions or Lang Warren, who have a lion in their logo, not the Eastern Lions. Still, well played by them. Norm Wilcox running a tight ship.
I think their 20s had a good year last year as well, so might be blooding some of their youth.
Sub coming up for Heidelberg. They've already made 1, and this time the player getting subbed off might actually know about it. They want to bring on Adrian Zara here, who's going to be replaced. They're going to wait for one more phase of play before the sub goes through. The bib's off. Everyone's waiting at halfway. Nope, they're going to have to wait. Here comes the long throw. Cahill used his body well. Matthews, Cahill, bullocking work. Oh, and then he falls over. It looked as though he'd actually got into a position to play the ball. And yet, he was more interested in the contact than maybe swinging his foot.
He looked for the contact. Player stepped away from him. He fell over. For me, in that situation, you're in the box, go the ball, put it in the back of the net, start again.
And now the sub does go through. It's Jack Petrie coming off, Adrian Zara coming on. So 2 changes for Heidelberg, none for Oakleigh at present. Great to have Andrew Kentapazidis on the stream viewers. Of course, the Kenta Cup, a big success in recent times. I'm not sure what it was actually called, but I knew it as the Kenta Cup. And great to see we've now got the Girls Kenta Cup coming up.
Oh, that's the...
his guest.
That's more the Anik Cup, that one.
Turning into the path of white. Zorich takes a sidestep off the woodwork. And now Pavlou.
Oh, and he's just gone wide.
How did they miss that? Oakleigh Cannons, a litany of chances to go 3-1 up. Heidelberg United living a charmed life. And somehow they don't score.
It's the 2nd post of the night for Oakleigh. Great build-up work. Should have put that away, though.
Well, that should have been a goal. We've said that twice in this half now. They should have a buffer on Heidelberg here, and we know that the Burgers are a team that does not go away. Chiavo. Noon. Late contact, and we're going to see a card.
Another set piece for Heidelberg.
And this one, with Sean Ellis on the park, is shooting range. Just want to confirm we got the booking here. It was Green with the foul, and so it is Matt Green who gets the card. And this is Sean Ellis territory, well and truly. John Honos will be on alert.
Just on the Kenta Cup, there was over 40 under-12 teams competing. Superb young talent on display that day. Well organised, well-run tournament. I think the winner overall was football. The kids absolutely loved it.
No arguments from me. And the Football Victoria Girls Cup is going to be a massive boon as well for the talented player ID program. Anyway, our focus is on the left foot of either Ruben Way or Sean Ellis. Who pulls rank? Ruben's already got 1 tonight. Ellis is a specialist over the dead ball. They are spoilt for choice. It's going to be Ruben Way leaving it for Ellis. Oh! And he just put it over the bar.
It did look close from our angle. It did look close from our angle, so it must have just missed.
We are into the 78th minute at CV Smith Reserve. It remains Pascoval 1, South Melbourne 0.
Nicely struck, just over the bar.
(2-1) remains the score. Oakleigh having overcooked and missed the chances to go 3-1 up. Chris Taylor and the Oakleigh hierarchy must be wondering when their luck is going to turn, because it hasn't in this game, it is safe to say. They have let Heidelberg linger. This will be a Heidelberg throw. Zara went to ground, ball goes out. Of course, men's state leagues kicked off tonight and continue en masse tomorrow. We've got all the community, metro and junior leagues kicking off in a couple of weeks, but good luck to all the men's state league teams out there as we see Epifano with a burst of speed, cuts back, Guest goes up, and Theodoridis is able to pluck it out of the air.
Big call out to the FV fixturing team for a super effort over the last couple of weeks to get these fixtures completed.
While I've got you, anytime I try to go off on a tangent here, the game livens up. So let's keep this theme going as Dumbalis and Fashini get a little bit chesty. No love lost. But State League 1, top two teams in both Northwest and Southeast go into the newly aligned third tier. And of course, it means that there is no relegation for teams in State League 1. The remaining teams in those Northwest and Southeast divisions go into the newly formed fourth tier, Emilio. But the real interest is, of course, bottom four in each of NPL 2 East and NPL 2 West. 8 total teams join the top two in each of State League 1, Northwest and Southeast. 4 teams total. And they form the third tier. And I think that division is going to be incredibly interesting, given how desperate teams will be to avoid the bottom 4 in their respective NPL 2 divisions, and of course make the top 2 down in State 1. So we stay with the Oakleigh build-up here. Guest, Zorich has a yard of space and drives it low just beyond White. Chances keep coming for Oakleigh.
This game's opened up. I think there's some more chances that will come in the next couple of minutes the way the game's panning out. Oakleigh seem to have got better control in the middle of the park, patient on the ball. Their build-up has been positive, unlucky not to be 3-1 up.
But back to the State 1 and NPL 2 situation forming the third tier. You, of course, have been the driver of the football review. I mean, how nice is it to see that we're kicking off 2019 and I think everyone's aligned on getting a great result for the senior men's component of the game?
Well, we're really looking forward to that. We've gone through an extensive consultation process with the stakeholders who have given us lots of positive feedback and some great recommendations, and I think the linear model with 14 teams in the top tier, 12 in the second, 12 in the third is the way to go and progress the game forward in terms of, you know, the best teams being in the best leagues.
I think it's going to certainly bring a heightened level of interest to NPL 2 this year, and then the benefit will be, as you say, a linear second tier in 2020, which I think will be a stronger, better division than what we've got now. Very exciting. And of course, the games get played on the field, so plenty of teams, whether it's Preston Lions or North Sunshine Eagles, Richmond, Mornington, St Kilda, they're all going to back themselves to finish in the top 2, but now they've actually got to go and get the results. Ooh, sleeping was Chiavo. And barnstorming through was Fashini. Epifano wanted to connect with Fashini, and it's put behind for a corner by Dumbalis, and he is not happy with the way that possession was yielded there.
Well, Oakleigh going through a nice passage here, and I think you might find that they will continue to create some problems for the Heidelberg backline. Let's see how they go with this corner.
And Cahill is back defending. Booming header away. Zorich. And it will be an Oakleigh throw. "83 minutes gone over at CB Smith. It is still Pascoval 1, 10-man South Melbourne 0. Guest. Green. Taps Sensioglu. Skied pass to Pachkovsky. Epifano's long ball. Guest. And he can't chase that one down. Just over 20 minutes to go here. It remains 2-1, which was the halftime score. Somehow we've had so many chances for a goal. Earlier tonight, Knights 3 defeating Port Melbourne 2 and Hume City 5 beating Dandenong City 1. Player down here is Cahill. Heidelberg have already used 2 of their 3 subs, and looking at the benches tonight, Heidelberg's remaining outfielders are John Lazaridis, a defender, and Stephen Pace, also a defender. And for Oakleigh, who are yet to turn to their bench, Wade Decker, an attacker, Hamish Miller, a defender, Marcus Demunche, attacking midfielder, and Miloš Lujic, the number 9, who wears 99. And so we won't hear for treatment for Cahill. Heidelberg are chasing the game, so he has no incentive to get here. 20 minutes to go. Any thoughts on what either team should start to employ or engage here to try and wrestle their way back into the contest?
I think more of the same from Oakleigh. They've taken control of this game, even though they're 2-1 up and not chasing it. I think if they keep moving the ball around as they've done, keep possession, opening up, Heidelberg have to come and be prepared to go forward, which I think will open up gaps in defence. I can see Oakleigh scoring another one here and putting real pressure on Heidelberg to try and finish off the game and push forward to get a result tonight. We haven't seen a lot of chances in the second half from Heidelberg.
And Cahill, being a bit sore here, is not the player that Heidelberg want to see leave the pitch. They'll be hoping this is merely temporary. It doesn't seem to be anyone. Although they are going to have to make a sub. Stephen Pace is coming on. So they're going to have to sacrifice Tom Cahill here, their target man, and on comes Stephen Pace. That is all 3 subs made with just under 20 minutes still going. And Oakleigh are yet to turn to their bench by contrast. And so this will prompt a shuffle of positions as well as Lewis Hall moves out of defence into midfield and Pace comes on. And we hope it is not bad news for Tom Cahill here, who goes to the sideline to continue his treatment. Pace gets a touch straight off the pine. Off Zara though. Epifano trapped by Zara. And the ball loops to the line.
And Heidelberg have pushed Harry Noon forward to try and get back into this game.
So Noon is currently in the number 9. Interesting. Epifano. Pavlu. Ellis to Wilkins. He blazes away. And now the new forward, Noon, goes to chase. Hello to all our Facebook viewers. We are reading out the best of the comments. Of which there aren't too many, so leave a comment. Great to have Werribee assistant coach Craig Moore watching on, of course. Werribee 5 wins from 5 in NPL 2 West, and you'll be able to see them in the streaming game in round 7. North Geelong Warriors versus Werribee City is the feature NPL 2 West game for broadcast, and that will be a absolute cracking battle between 2 very good teams.
Call out to Harkin Dogan, who's also streaming tonight.
Well, I see his name pop up across all the streams. He's the NPL manager, and he just keeps an eye on absolutely everything. His phone never stops ringing. His email never stops pinging. He's a very busy man.
He's a very busy man.
Ellis in a tangle with Epifano, who legally won the ball, but it spills to Noon. Heidelberg stay on the attack. Noon's cross, though, sat up and was not attacked by any of the yellow shirts. Pascoe Vale have scored a second. That should be game, set, match over at CB Smith. Oh, big.
Oh, into the fence. Probably no need for that.
So that looks like South Melbourne are going to be beaten tonight. That's huge. And we'll go through the live ladder again as a result.
Accidental elbow to the face there.
Fashini, the victim. Pace. Now to Theodoridis. Ellis. Deft touch. But Pachkovsky is first to the ball. You see Cahill still receiving treatment over on the sidelines.
He's been very good on that side, both in defence and getting up and joining the attack.
Tavsancioglu clears away. A lot of criticism in the comments for the long ball tactics employed by both teams.
I think our viewers have got it right, Tao. There's been long balls played by both sides. The goals have come through transition, ball on the deck. So I think both coaches will walk away from this and have a look at the vision and see where maybe things need to be improved.
Ruben Way went backwards to go forwards, then sold the contact for all it was worth, and the referee wasn't buying. Guest on the counter, waiting for support to arrive, and things slow down. Epifano didn't want to make a forward run. He wanted to give and go. And even though Guest went, he had company in the form of the backtracking Zara. Zoric.
Nice ball.
Great pass off the outside of the foot. Fashini. Booted away by Dumbalis. Lewis Hall ducked underneath it. Danger here. Guest against pace. He goes to ground. And it's a yellow for simulation. And Guest.
Well done by the ref for calling that. That was a dive, and that's all it was.
Yellow card. And Philippe Bernabeu Madrid was Pascoe Vale's second goal scorer on the counter-attack. That game is in the 92nd minute and is closing in on full time. But, yeah, I'm with you, Emilio. Good shout by the referee on the simulation. And Tavsancioglu is incredulous as a free kick is paid for Heidelberg. We're going to see more cards here. Yellow's out of the pocket. Harry Noon's getting antsy. Matt Green is getting involved. And Michael Mammis is trying to take command here.
What's he going to do here? The perpetrator or the... and he's giving it to the perpetrator.
It is Rama Tavsancioglu who goes in the book. He continues to protest.
Harry Noon just trying to mix it up a little bit.
So we had Sean Ellis go very close from a little bit further in. This one is a bit further out, angle slightly more acute, and therefore it'll be a lot tougher to score direct. No Tom Cahill in the penalty area now that he's been subbed off. No Ruben Way for company this time. It is just Ellis. Ellis's free kick. Hall. Chiavo was offside. And he knocked it the wrong way anyway.
Called early by the linesman.
Flag went up. 3 minutes of stoppage now complete at CB Smith Reserve.
Man down for Oakleigh. I can't see who that is.
Yeah, we're waiting just to get a look at who it is. Trainer being called. Full time at CB Smith Reserve. It is Pascoe Vale 2, South Melbourne 0, and we've got a natural break in play as Pachkovski receives treatment. Here is the table live in play. Avondale 15 plus 9, in fact plus 11. Knights 15 plus 5. Bentley Greens on 12, they play tomorrow night. Hume City on 10 after their win. Heidelberg on 10, currently trailing. They're in 5th. Gully in 6th place on 9. They play tomorrow. Altona Magic in 7th place on 7, playing tomorrow. Pascoe Vale move up to 7 points. They are in 8th place. Dandenong Thunder 9th on 6. South Melbourne sink to 10th place on 6 points. Kingston City, who play tomorrow, in 11th on 5 points. Oakleigh Cannons currently in the Pro-Rail playoff spot. They are on 4 points. Port Melbourne on 4 after their defeat to Melbourne Knights tonight in the relegation zone, as are Dandenong City on 3. So Oakleigh, if they hold on and win, they'll jump up to 12th. If Heidelberg jag an equaliser, they will go back to the bottom of the league. That is how important these remaining minutes are here tonight. As Pachkovski's treatment finally concludes.
Perfect night for football, great crowd. Can we see some late drama with Heidelberg trying to get one back?
They won't stop trying, that's for sure. Ruben Way. Noon. Goes and chases his touch, but Matthews, who's been up to the task all night, is fouled here. Now, Stephen Pace has left the game already, Emilio. They are down to 10.
All subs made.
They made all 3 subs. Stephen Pace came on for the already injured Tom Cahill and is now, I can't even see him on the bench. I'm scanning my head around the field for the freshly shaved head of the Heidelberg centre back, and I can't see him. So they're now playing effectively a 4-2-3. Noon.
Always challenging for a coach when he's forced to make changes due to injury.
Zara. And that pass goes out for a throw.
It's got a reset now.
And confirmed by the Heidelberg Twitter that Pace has been forced to leave the game due to an injury. So they are down to 10.
It's going to be tough from here.
And Ruby in the comments, I don't know if she's here watching on Facebook at the same time, says that he's popped his shoulder. So thank you, Ruby, for the update, but it's bad news. That's terrible news for Stephen Pace and for Heidelberg. And they still trail 2-1 as well.
I've got a little bit of experience with dislocated shoulders. Unfortunately, I've had to have mine operated on, and hopefully it's not a bad injury.
Guest. White. Zorich. Fashini. Could the man advantage for Oakleigh rob us perhaps of high drama to end this game? This is the difference between streaming and radio, Emilio. We are getting bombarded in the comments by people who saw Stephen Pace go off with his injury. So I do apologise for not seeing it, keeping an eye on all the other games going on around the grounds and the full-time scores. But thank you to our eagle-eyed viewers for contributing. We are live and interactive, of course, on Facebook tonight. And for those of you maybe watching on YouTube or having connected it to your smart TV, you can jump on Facebook as well and leave a comment in the stream. Guest. Oh, delicious ball. Epifano denied.
Save again.
Theodoridis. Oh, he's dropped it. Play alive. And then the slight challenge from Dumbalis. At least gets it out of the box. Allows Theodoridis to get back on his line. Zoric. So close for Oakleigh. Epifano was one-on-one. Fashini. Oakleigh cannot land the knockout punch. And Heidelberg resist for now. Biles. Dumbalis. Zara buzzing around, but can't keep the ball for his team.
That was a great ball through to Epifano. Should have finished that one off, but great save by the keeper once again. He's having a good night.
Luke Pavlu.
Heidelberg have been forced to get numbers behind the ball with playing one man short. They're not seeing a lot of possession at the minute.
You think of all the set pieces they've had in this game that they haven't been able to capitalise on. Now maybe down a man, it might be their best hope. And you do wonder if Oakleigh will therefore maybe stand off a bit and not continue to commit so many fouls in their defensive half. Time the enemy of Heidelberg, along with being down to 10 men. We're into the 86th minute. Shouts for handball, go unheeded. Tafsensioglu to White. Epifano on the move. Epifano off the post. Zoric, and the tap-in is missed. Incredible. Incredible. Guest should have had his second. Instead, he misses the targets. And of all the chances they've had, that one may have been the most glaring miss of all. How are Heidelberg still in this game?
Well, they've got to thank the post. Firstly, that's 3 times Oakleigh hit the post tonight.
If Heidelberg gets something from this, it will be truly a robbery. Dumbalis is the heist on here. Noon has to tail out the back. Burgers have got numbers forward though. They might be down to 10 men, but they're sensing their moment here. Wilkins. Zara brings it under his control. And now Wilkins from a steady position. Schiavo. Still Schiavo. On the tight angle, deflected cross, and then booted away by Fashini. Missed by Wilkins, but Biles is there.
Heidelberg pushing numbers forward, looking for the equaliser. And play on, ref waves play on.
No call.
Offside.
Flag goes up. I'm not sure we've had an offside in this half, never mind in this entire game. I think we had one in the first half. It's been a very disciplined game in that respect. Oakleigh is still yet to make a sub, and we are in the 88th minute. Even from a time-wasting point of view, maybe it's potentially something they could consider.
Doesn't even look like they're warming up across there, so I'm not sure whether any changes are planned.
Some Burgers fans are making their way to the exits. Do they not know this team? Noon. Dumbalis. And he's closed down. Zoric, long ball. Theodoridis after the edge of his area. "88 minutes ticked by.
Noon still working hard.
And a bending cross. Ellis couldn't find his feet. Half a chance, and then Noon blocked by Way, his own man in the road. It was Way initially, and then Oakleigh clear through Fashini. White goes up. His goal got it all started. Zorich hasn't given up chasing. And now the man advantage isn't looking so apparent here. Oakleigh is sitting back, and if anything, they're inviting Heidelberg on. And they are finally going to make a sub. Ruben Way, flick header, Sean Ellis. Oh, offside. Offside. Should take us into the final minute. Milos Lujic is going to replace Harry White, who scored his first Oakleigh goal this evening, Emilio, and was particularly unlucky in the first half with a chance that hit the post immediately before Heidelberg went back up the other end and scored.
And the post has definitely been the friend of Heidelberg tonight. Any significance to the number 99?
I suspect. We just got told the explanation, but we've both got headsets on, so we didn't hear it. But I believe it is due to family reasons. Of course, he's a striker, and strikers wear 9, so he's got 99 on Milosh. Number 9 has been retired because, of course, it's worn by a former number of Peter Kakos, Emilio, the late Peter Kakos, and the club has retired that number. Thank you to Oakleigh for jogging my memory on that. Here is Zara. Cross from Chiavo, Noon's header. And at last, it's at least a chance on goal, but it's coming a bit late. We're into stoppage time.
Noon has worked tirelessly for Heidelberg tonight, both in the centre midfield and up front. But I just think he might run out of time tonight. Crowd's starting to pack up, and looks like they're making their way to the exits.
Honos. Fashini. Neat sidestep. And some off the ball contact. Milos Lujic just coming on, won his team a free kick. And so Oakleigh will milk the clock for all it's worth here. 1 minute of stoppage already ticked by. Looks like Oakleigh are getting another time-wasting sub ready. Anything to put the 3 points in the book and get their first win of the season. The last team without a win in the top flight this campaign. And Zorich hits it down to the corner. Guest, his goal is the difference between the sides. Ruben Way. Matthews. Lujic. And this time a foul against him.
Matthews has been excellent tonight.
I was going to say, who is your player of the match, Emilio? 2 minutes into stoppage time. Sub's going to go through. Oakleigh will take off Joe Guest and replace him here with Wade Decker. And they'll get their full value of seconds off the clock as a result. Guest trots to the sideline.
I don't normally give us the defenders, but I think Matthews has been superb tonight, and the Heidelberg goalkeeper has also been very strong. Theodoridis, he's made 2 great saves, but for me, I think Matthews has just controlled that back line, and any forward thrust from Oakleigh has been superb.
Restart. It slides to the back for Wilkins. Way! Off the line! And Honos saves it. He clings on. And John Honos, who has been the target of so much criticism in these opening weeks of the season, has come up with a huge save for his team.
Drama right to the very end. Probably a little bit unlucky, Heidelberg, in that instance. Didn't hit the ball cleanly, and it bounced in the hands of the goalkeeper.
That would have been a goal in the 3rd minute of stoppage to salvage a draw.
Nice cross, didn't hit it cleanly. Keeper's fallen onto it, picked it up, and just milking a little bit of time off the clock now.
Lujic's header. And it's Berger's ball. They've got to hurry. 4 minutes of stoppage is now up. And Dumbalis has taken the throw from too far advanced to where the ball went out.
Who have you liked tonight, Tara?
I think Guest is, in addition to the match-winning goal, been very good. But I think Theodoridis is not a bad shout. He has made some incredible one-on-one saves tonight to keep the score at 2-1, and somehow his team is still in with a chance of pinching something, though not on this passage of play. Free kick given. There's an Oakleigh player down. So we wait for Pavlu to get back to his feet. And he's going to milk this. Trainer's been called. It's going to take us into a 6th minute of stoppage time. Oakleigh just want the whistle here. Their winless start to the campaign is nearly over at the 6th time of asking.
They still have 2 subs on the bench, and
one sub now.
One sub.
Are they going to make it? Of course, they've brought on Decker and Lujic. They've got Hamish Miller if they want to bring on a defender. I think it's Marcus Dimanche who's waiting to come on. It's Pachkovsky who's down. Apologies, I said Pavlu. It is Pachkovsky. And that maybe is why they've got Dimanche lined up. This game's not going to end at this rate. Into a 7th minute of stoppage time then. And the board isn't going up just yet. Now Forthy's got his back turned. Just goes on and on and on.
Credit to Heidelberg playing the game out with 10 men.
Yeah, the repercussions of the injuries tonight for Cahill and Pace will certainly be of prime importance for Heidelberg. They lose ground on the top teams tonight, trying to defend their Premier's plate. And hard against the sideline. Oakleigh are absolutely up in arms about this foul. Referee says it's not a foul, it's a throw.
And players have said play on, so good on the players for doing that. They could have milked that, but...
Into an 8th minute of stoppage then. Pachkovsky recovered, clears. Do Oakleigh make this sub? Marcus Dimanche stands next to the 4th official. Heidelberg still going. The night wears on. Can they smash and grab? Not even at the death, well beyond it. Can they climb out of the grave here? High ball over the head of Way. And it goes out for a goal kick, and surely the full-time whistle will arrive after this.
I think they're going to make this up.
And if Goran Zoric is clever, he's going to run over to the total opposite side of the pitch because his number's up. And so now he jogs as slowly as he possibly can to be replaced by Marcus Dimanche. And we're going to hit 100 minutes, Emilio. I hope the graphics are ready for it. And Zoric eventually gets to the sidelines. Dimanche, whose equaliser against Kingston was, prior to tonight, Oakleigh's only point of the season. Now they are on the verge of getting all three. Debate here over who's got the throw. It's an Oakleigh throw, I think. And Lewis Hall is going to get booked here for abusing the assistant referee.
Well, I think the assistant's made the wrong call here and the ref's overruled it, so I can understand the player's frustration on that, because he did call Heidelberg throw.
Leach, they want to go to the corner, Oakleigh. No one wants to take the throw, as you can imagine. We're about to raise the bat here, Emilio. We're about to hit 100 minutes. Where is salvation for Oakleigh? At last! It's taken 6 games, but Oakleigh Cannons get their first win of the season. And they win the derby 2-1 against Heidelberg United. All the goals came in the first half. And they had countless chances to make it 3-1, none of them which they took. And in the end, it is Guest who gets the winner. All over at Jack Edwards Reserve. Oakleigh Cannons 2, Heidelberg United 1. Emilio Manatitis, send us home with your final thoughts.
I thought it was a very good night for football. Great crowd. Great to see the kids out here. Both teams put on a display. The first half obviously had 2 goals for Heidelberg, for Oakleigh, and 1 for Heidelberg, and then Oakleigh came out in the second half, hit the post 2 occasions, and really controlled the game when Heidelberg went down to 10 men, which is always going to be tough on a night like tonight at Oakleigh's ground, to try and keep attacking to equalise, and if at the very death they almost got it back. So to Heidelberg's credit, they kept fighting, but I think today the fair result went Oakleigh's way, and well-earned points.
Emilio, thank you for joining me tonight. We will do this again at some point in the future. Excellent debut from you, very popular in the comments as well, which is what we love to see. My name's Teo Pellizzeri. On behalf of our production team tonight, thank you for your company from Jack Edwards Reserve. Full-time, Oakleigh 2, Heidelberg United 1. Good night, and join us for 4 more games in NPL Victoria tomorrow.